Another week, another TVF series. But does it stack up against other TVF triumphs like Gullak, Kota Factory and Panchayat? Let's break it down. Directed by Apurv Singh Kalki, Z5's Saas Bahu Achaar Pvt Limited is part business story, part family drama. Suman, played by Amruta Subhash, is the divorced mother who is forced to leave her home and children when her husband, played by Anup Soni, falls in love and marries another woman. Suman couldn't take her kids with her because she isn't able to provide for them. So she set herself the goal of creating a successful achar business within a year using her special homemade recipe as a means to stand on her own 2 feet and make a living for her kids. The show follows Suman's struggle to get her business off the ground, along with a fractured family dynamic involving the children being forced to live under the same roof as the father they no longer respect, not to mention his new wife and son, thus giving new meaning to the term joint family. Because what is life if not a series of people trying to live with the hurtful consequences of the decisions of pathetic, selfish, insecure men?
बाप के पास नहीं रह सकते क्या?
फिर तो हो चुकी उनकी परवरिश।
तो तुम कर पाओगी? पैसे हैं तुम्हारे पास?
तो 1 साल दे दो, कुछ कमा लूंगी और ले जाऊंगी उन्हें।
Led by an excellent Amruta Subhash here, finally getting her due as the lead of her own series, Saas Bahu Achaar offers up a wonderful premise. The engaging startup story meets the emotionally charged family drama. But it's in how these two halves intersect and come together where the series slips up. For one, it doesn't feel like a single cohesive narrative. The family half of the show frequently feels like it's at odds with the far more engaging entrepreneur half, shifting the perspective away from where the show shines. I appreciate the attempt in grounding the professional in the personal and making the stakes feel urgent. But here the domestic drama just doesn't add heft to the business side, it frequently sidelines it.
बिजनेस सेट होने में टाइम लगता है ना, तो इस महीने जरूर कुछ हो जाएगा, देखना।
क्या जरूरत है यार, छोड़ो ना ये बिजनेस का चक्कर।
अरे
It reminded me of Amazon Prime Video's The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and why, after a point, I struggled with that show. It's a series I was invested in because of the story of a talented woman in a man's world trying to make a name for herself as a stand-up comedian. An exciting plot which was too often drowned out and lost in the story of a dysfunctional family and the romantic arc with Maisel's ex-husband. Instead, Saas Bahu Achaar works best when it focuses on Suman, the woman whose life is uprooted overnight as she suddenly finds herself forced to live on her own and find her feet. The thrilling startup success story, yes, but more specifically, everything her journey has to say about how women aren't groomed to earn a living or be independent, but are merely prepared with the specific purpose of being taken care of by a man and raising children. A society where a woman taking a stand against a disrespectful, unfaithful spouse is a punishable offense. With the help of her lovable neighbor Shuklaji, played by Anandeshwar Dwivedi, and her steadfast supportive mother-in-law, played by an adorable Yamini Das, we see Suman toil away making her signature achar and stumble as she learns how to sell and promote her product. There's a delightful scene, for example, which sees Suman and her mother-in-law workshopping different catchy lines and ways of approaching strangers to sell their goods. As Suman, Amruta Subhash deftly navigates the steely resolve and resignation of a woman trying to do her best despite facing one roadblock after another. In one scene, her daughter Komal lashes out against her mother's inadequacies. As we see Suman entirely break down, our hearts break for her. I also like the dignity and sensitivity with which the series examines the complex family dynamic of a second marriage and everyone just trying to adjust to the new normal. There are no right and wrongs here, and each character and their shortcomings are approached with a sense of empathy and care, be it the 2 children or their quietly gentle stepmother, played by a wonderful Anjana Sukhani. The result is a thoughtful, well-acted show, but an uneven one. The kind that's pleasant and sweet, but little else. The writing from Abhishek Srivastav, Manan Madan and Swarnadeep Biswas opts for convenient feel-good dramatic flourishes over depth, underlined by Nilotpal Bora's heavy-handed yet affecting background score. I also wish we learned something more about why Suman wanted to start an achar business in the first place, where the idea came from and why she feels so strongly about it. Luckily, the breezy 6-episode runtime does the show many favors. TVF really knows how to tell a story in the time it needs without extending it beyond breaking point, something many leading platforms could really learn something from. There's a charming sequence halfway through Saas Bahu Achaar which sees Suman, her mother-in-law and Shuklaji walking around the bustling streets of Old Delhi in search of new customers. 3 unlikely, oddball underdogs from different walks of life coming together in an unexpected way for a shared purpose, bonded by family wanting to make a living and the need to be seen and taken seriously. That's a show I would have loved to have seen more of. Would I recommend Saas Bahu Achaar to a friend? If you're looking for a simplistic, old-fashioned rush of happily ever after, then sure, why not? You can watch Saas Bahu Achaar on Z5.